So let's start with Bill Gates. It was announced yesterday that Bill Gates is now the biggest owner of farmland in the USA. Now that is quite a bit of power to have that much control over the food supply of such a big country. It says here, America's biggest owner of farmland is now Bill Gates, after years of reports that he was purchasing agricultural land in places like Florida and Washington. The land report reveals that Gates, who has a net worth of nearly $121 billion, according to Forbes, has built up a massive farmland portfolio spanning 18 states. His largest holdings are in Louisiana, 69,000 acres, Arkansas, 47,000 acres, and Nebraska, 20,000 acres. Additionally, he has a stake in 25,000 acres of transitional land on the west side of Phoenix, Arizona, which is being developed as a new suburb. This guy, he seems to be involved with everything. It was his Microsoft that helped formulate the coding of the models that Neil Ferguson of Imperial College, funded by Microsoft, the modeling that projected 500,000 would die, which led to the government going into the first lockdown. Bill Gates has committed hundreds of millions to vaccines. He's appeared on the telly recently saying that things won't go back to normal in 2022. This is not a leader of a country, a democratically chosen leader. He's just a businessman with an absolute stinking amount of money. So what is Bill Gates planning to do with all of this farmland? Well, going from his other investments, he doesn't seem to be too keen on livestock, although his favourite meal is apparently a hamburger. Bill Gates has invested heavily in artificial meat companies that print 3D steaks and something similar like that, like Impossible Foods, Beyond Meat, and Memphis Meats. One of the CEOs of these companies, Patrick Brown of Impossible Foods, said a week ago, "Let's get rid of the frigging cows." It says here, Patrick Brown is on a mission to eradicate the meat and fish industries by 2035. The CEO of Impossible Foods, a California-based company that makes genetically engineered plant-based meat, is deadly serious.
They provide easily assimilated vitamins and minerals in the right biochemical shape and form. There is this misinformation, this lie in the world that your vitamins come from fruit and vegetables. Doctors are in particular misinformed. Majority of doctors believe that all your vitamins come from plants. That, animal foods have nothing to do with that. You've seen today what Zoe has shown you, the tables. That is what the real information is, that's the truth. The bulk of all your vitamins, of everything your body requires, all your minerals, all your protein, everything comes from animal foods, not from plants. They are the easiest to digest for the human gut because of our structure, because we have a gut of a predator, a gut of an omnivore. They build and maintain the physical structure and function of the human body beautifully. And they are essential for cell regeneration and healing. Your immune system in particular loves animal foods. In fact, it requires almost exclusively animal foods. It requires high quality protein and high quality fat. And they can only come from meat, fish, eggs, and dairy. And that is the first thing that collapses in these young vegans and vegetarians. Their immune system collapses. They get one infection after another. They get mononucleosis that they never recover from. For years, they're dragging on, and they get shingles, and they get one infection after another. So what are the plants for? Why did Mother Nature give us plants, and why do we eat them at all? Do we eat them? Plants have the wrong protein for the human body. Plants have plenty of protein. And when we analyze it in the laboratory, we find that the amino acid composition of plants is very wrong for the human body. There is an excess of certain amino acids and deficiency of other amino acids, which are essential for us. The proportions are just wrong for us. On top of that, plant proteins are indigestible for the human body. Entirely indigestible. In fact, they damage the digestive system. Gluten in wheat, you all know. Secondly, in rye. Every grain has got a protein in it of its own, and every one of those proteins is very damaging for the human digestive system, immune system, collagen in the body, for the brain, for many, many organs. We now have a lot of science in that area. Plants have the wrong fats for the human body. Too much omega-6. Too much omega-3. We only need a little bit of omega-3 and a little bit of omega-6. If you're eating a handful of nuts a day, if you're eating fresh lettuce from your garden, you will get plenty and you will get them in the right proportions. You don't need to take supplements. You will get all those omegas in the right proportion. We only need a tiny amount of them. The bulk of fat consumption for a healthy human body has to come from animal foods, because that's the right fat for us. Plants are indigestible for the human gut in their natural form, natural shape. In the raw state, they are absolutely indigestible. But plant foods are cleansers. They provide wonderful cleansing substances, powerful phenols, powerful detoxifiers, powerful salicylates, vitamins, minerals, glutathione, and lots of other things, antioxidants, oxidants. They provide many things that we haven't even researched now. There's been a lot of effort, attention to broccoli recently. Our mainstream loves broccoli. That broccoli cures cancer and broccoli cures this and that. Because broccoli has sulforaphane and all other cabbage, the whole cabbage family, and radishes have got that substance in them. And it apparently cleanses the body in such a way that it prevents cancers. Plants have got powerful cleansing substances in them. They provide some vitamins and minerals, but they cannot feed the body to any degree. They help us to stay clean on the inside. It is important for us to be fed properly, and it's important for us to be clean on the inside. That is why we combine plants and animal foods. That is why we eat from dwarf kingdoms. The plants help us to stay clean on the inside, while animal foods build our human bodies and maintain our physical structure.
Going to be a lot of breakthroughs on the medical front, particularly around synthetic mRNA. You can basically do anything with synthetic RNA, DNA. It's like a computer program. So I mean, I think with enough, with effort that's not too crazy, you could probably stop aging, reverse it if you want. These are, you can basically do it. You can turn someone into a freaking butterfly if you want with the right DNA sequence. So, I mean, caterpillars do it.
So I'll give two examples. So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then they would, it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, you know, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, you know, but so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering. Another